A medical team at National Public Health Laboratory has started the saliva samples test of the Nepali nationals who were brought back yesterday from China's Hubei province. The center has informed that the sample reports of the individuals kept in quarantine at Kantipur's Kantipur are expected today itself, which would determine whether they have contracted the novel coronavirus. Good morning, I'm Amit Becquerel and these are the top stories this hour. Prime Minister's statement on the approval of controversial MCC deal with US flayed by Tim Rao, a member of the task force. Rao says no one is above the party. Saliva samples of Nepali nationals brought from Hubei province conducted. Results expected today itself. Americans from quarantined cruise ship leave Japan. Contractors continue imposing syndicate on government's development projects. A number of projects stranded due to authorities' failure to evaluate contractors' capabilities. And Real Madrid held by Celta Vigo for a 2-2 stalemate. Real just 1 point ahead of Barca at the top of the La Liga. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has raised question on the credibility of the task force that was formed by the study on the American Assistance Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC. The statement from the Prime Minister came at a time when the task force has failed to submit its report to the party in the stipulated time. However, a member of the task force criticizing the Prime Minister's statement commented that no one is allowed to speak against the party's decision, which has deepened the issue within the ruling Nepal Communist Party. We have a report.
MCC बारे विवाद होला, अलिअलि बुझ्न बाँकी होला, राजनीतिक दलहरूको विषय होला, राजनीतिक दलहरूले अध्ययन गर्लान्, त्यो आफ्नो ठाउँमा छ। तर सरकारले अनुमोदनका लागि संसदमा पेश गरेको छ, सभामुख महोदयले निर्णयार्थ प्रस्तुत गर्ने बित्तिकै पास हुन्छ, अगाडि बढ्छ।
Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, during his address at the Parliament marking the 2-year term of the government on Saturday, raised question on the credibility of the task force during his statement on the MCC agreement. However, the task force was busy in studying the draft of the agreement. The statement from the Prime Minister has developed a new series of discussions within the ruling party. Task team member Bhim Rawal reaffirmed that the government could not denounce the recommendation of the task force formed by the party's Central Committee, claiming that the Central Committee is the most powerful entity of the party after the General Convention. Leader Rao indirectly challenged Prime Minister Oli to endorse the MCC agreement from the Parliament.
र आफूले अध्ययन गरेका कुराहरूलाई आदान प्रदान पनि गर्यौं। अब अहिलेसम्म हामीले जे जति सामग्रीहरूको अध्ययन गरेका छौं, त्यो अध्ययन तथ्यहरूको आधारमा अब क्रमशः त्यसलाई अभिलेखित गर्ने र अरु छलफल गर्नुपर्ने विषयमा छलफल गर्दै पनि जाने र प्राप्त विषयहरूलाई अभिलेखित गर्दै पनि जाने निर्णय गरेका छौं र हामी अब छिटै अर्को बैठक बस्छौं।
The Standing Committee meeting of the ruling Nepal Communist Party had formed a 3-member task force on 2nd of February under the coordination of party senior leader Thalnath Khanal, the coordinator and foreign minister Pradeep Gawali, and leader Rawal as members to study and submit a report on the issue of the MCC agreement in detail to the party within 10 days. The task force, however, failed to draft the report in stipulated time, citing that it had to study several reports. The bill related to the MCC agreement of 55 billion rupees was registered at the Parliament on 15th of July last year for endorsement. As the ruling party has been divided into 2 factions regarding the issue, the bill has not yet been tabled for endorsement. This has created uncertainty on the fate of the MCC agreement.
2,944 projects worth 503 billion rupees under the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Construction are currently in operation, among which 18 construction companies are handling projects worth 239 billion rupees. According to the ministry, 18 companies have taken up more than 25 projects. Sharma & Sharma Company has been approved with 61 projects, followed by Pappu Construction, a blacklisted company, with 59 projects. Raswa Construction received contracts of 35 projects, while Kalika Construction received contracts of 27 under the ministry, along with several other projects under the Ministry of Urban Development and Ministry of Water Supply. The ministries overlooked the capacity of the construction companies while handling the projects. Even Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli is discontent over such malpractices of handing over the projects randomly. However, the government itself has facilitated the contractors by amending the public procurement guidelines at times 4 times in a year. Contracts worth 77% of the total budget under the Ministry of Water Supply and contracts worth 44% of the total budget. Although the Ministry of Urban Development have been handed over to 18 and 16 contractors respectively. 239 out of 368 contracts under the Urban Development Ministry have already expired. Likewise, 31 contracts have not been started. The government is compelled to downsize the development budgets by 20% as the single contractors handed several projects, leading to uncertainty of the projects. It is necessary to discuss the legal provision to hand over contract-based projects on the basis of progress of previous contracts. And time now for a short break. For more news, do stay with us. Welcome back. After the break, a medical team of the National Public Health Laboratory collected samples of the rescued Nepali nationals who were flown back home from China yesterday morning. The team reached Kantipur-based quarantine area and collected samples of throat swab of all the 175 Nepalese. The National Public Health Laboratory has informed that the reports of the samples are expected within 24 hours after the test begins. Following the lab test, the reports will suggest whether they are infected with coronavirus.
तर अब केही रोग छ कि मतलब कोरोना रोगै लक्षणै नदेखे मान्छेलाई पनि देखिया छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि सबै जनाहरुको घाँटीको र नाकको चाहिँ स्वाब लिने काम हुँदैछ आज कम्प्लिट हुन्छ र भोलि बिहानदेखि त्यो टेस्ट सुरु हुन्छ पर्सि बिहान बेलुकीसम्ममा त्यो रिजल्ट आइपुग्छ.
The government of Nepal yesterday morning had rescued 175 Nepali nationals from China's Hubei province, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak. This is the first time that the Nepal government sent an aircraft to rescue its stranded nationals in a foreign country. Meanwhile, the quarantine zone has been designed according to the standards set by the World Health Organization. A separate thermometer has been used for each individual to measure body temperature. A medical team has been kept standby for their treatment. One room will be shared by a maximum of 3 people. The rescued Nepalese have expressed their satisfaction over the preparation in the quarantine zone. They have been urged not to post their pictures and videos in social media. They will be kept isolated for 14 days beginning yesterday as precautionary measures and have been restricted to meet their relatives. It's time now for the international update. 2 planes carrying Americans from the quarantined cruise ship Diamond Princess have left Japan. Kyodo News Agency reported that the aircraft chartered by the U.S. government departed Tokyo's Haneda Airport in the early hours on Monday. There were some 400 Americans on board the ship, which has been held since 3rd of February due to infections from the new coronavirus which has hit China. At least 40 U.S. citizens are infected and will be treated in Japan. The Diamond Princess has been quarantined in Japan's port of Yokohama with some 300 and 700 passengers and crew on board. The ship was held after a man was disembarked and Hong Kong was found to have the virus. It has the largest cluster of coronavirus cases outside China. The Japanese authorities on Sunday said the number of new cases on board the ship had risen by 70 to 355. Meanwhile, according to official figures for 16 February, 100 people died from the virus in Hubei, the province, at the center of the epidemic. This was down from 139 on Saturday. A total of 1,933 new cases were also reported, nearly 5% higher than the previous day, ending 3 days of consecutive drops in new cases. The official number of cases in the province currently stands at 58,182, with 1,692 deaths. Most new cases and deaths have been reported in Wuhan, Hubei's largest city. And time now for another short break. For more news, do stay with us. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked the participants of the district meeting in Kabre whether the local level representatives had been able to meet the people's expectation. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
हाम्रो चाहिँ कहिले लेखा नहुने, कहिले प्रमुख नहुने, कहिले कार्यकारी नहुने, यी विविध कारणले गर्दा हामीले जनअपेक्षा अनुसार काम बजेट छुट्याएकोमा पनि काम हुन सकेको छैन.
सरकारको नीति नियम अनुसारलाई नै हामीले फलोअप गर्दै जानुपर्ने हुन्छ. त्यसरी लैजाँदाखेरि अब कतिपय कामहरू छिटै गराउन खोज्दाखेरि पनि ढिलै हुन्छ.
जनताको इच्छा र आकांक्षा भने चाहिँ के हुन्छ नि व्यक्तिवादी हो. समुदायवादी भन्दा पनि जनप्रतिनिधिले गर्दाखेरि समूहलाई हित हुने गरी गर्नु पर्यो, राष्ट्रलाई हित हुने गरी गर्नु पर्यो।
कर्मचारीहरू वडा सचिवहरू अलि फुलफुल भएको कारणले चाहिँ अब चाहिँ कामको केही अगाडि बढ्ने कुरामा चाहिँ हामी अलि अगाडि नै छौँ।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why is the same construction company being provided contracts of many projects without looking into its capability? And options are A, feeble law, B, result of nexus, and C, lack of coordination. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Now the sports update.
Sports news.
Real Madrid were held by Celta Vigo last night as they moved 1 point above Barcelona at the top of La Liga. Celta took a shock lead when Iago Aspas sent a neat pass to Fedor Smolov, who scored his first goal in Spanish football. Toni Kroos swept home from 16 yards from the equalizer. Sergio Ramos gave Real the lead with a penalty, which was won by Eden Hazard on his return after almost 3 months out with an ankle injury. But Santi Mina scored a late equalizer from Denis Suarez's pass. Mina had only been on the pitch for 2 minutes when he scored the goal, which takes Celta out of the relegation zone on goal difference. Real had the better chances with Hazard lively on his return, Gareth Bale going close and Ramos having a goal disallowed. But Celta stayed in the game and made Zinedine Zidane's side pay with their late goal. Real, who have only won 1 goal league title since 2012, are 1 point clear of Barca with 14 La Liga matches remaining. Tottenham grabbed the valuable 3 points in the race for Champions League qualification last night, snatching a 3-2 victory over struggling Aston Villa as Son Heung-min scored a dramatic late winner. A defensive mix-up gifted Villa the lead in the opening 10 minutes as Toby Alderweireld scored an own goal. Spurs pulled level on 27 minutes. Alderweireld making amends for his earlier error by lashing home from the corner. Spurs dominated the rest of the first half, and the visitors did finally take charge of the match in injury time when Son converted the rebound of his own saved penalty. But John Engels equalized for the host on 53 minutes, powering a Jack Grealish corner into the net with a towering header. The game seemed to be heading for a draw when Engels allowed the ball to slip under his foot in injury time, and Son raced through to stroke home, snatching a late victory for the visitors. In another match, Arsenal smashed Newcastle 4-0 at the Emirates Stadium. The win was the Gunners' first victory in the Premier League since beating Manchester United on New Year's Day. A top division league plays an important role in football to form a national team as well as to develop new players. The Maltese Memorial A-Division League has also helped in assessing talented footballers in Nepal. However, the tournament this time around could not contribute according to expectation in the development of football in the country, and All Nepal Football Association (ANFA) had to face criticisms.
The Martyrs Memorial A-Division League football, which started from 14th of December and ended on Saturday 15th of February, was held for about 2 months. Machindra Club defeated Tribhuvan Army Club by a solitary goal in the last league match on Saturday to become the champions. Overall, the standard of the matches were not up to the mark at the league this time. Relegation also started from this league tournament, which was not placed in the last one. Relegating the team at the bottom of the points table increased competition among the teams this time round. However, spectators failed to show up in good numbers in majority of the matches except for Saturday's last match between Machindra Club and Tribhuvan Army Club. In the 91 matches played, only 203 goals were scored. Out of those matches, 18 matches ended in draws, in which 8 were goalless. All Nepal Football Association (ANFA) was criticized for failing to fix the schedule of the matches properly. In international leagues, the matches are usually played in weekends. However, up to the 11th round, ANFA scheduled matches every day with a gap of a day between rounds. There were allegations of match fixing between relegated Saraswati Youth Club and Himalayan Sherpa Club, and a referee was also criticized for his involvement, which has raised questions on ANFA's management of the Martyrs Memorial A Division League.
It's time now for our special segment, Off the Beat.
The Oli-led government in 2015 had declared to do away with traditional river crossing using wires, or popularly known as tweens. The government at the time had also allocated 3 billion rupees to replace the tweens with bridges. However, it has come to the light that the dangerous way of crossing the river using tweens still exists in a number of places. One such place was in Humla, where the local residents are facing almost a do-or-die situation on a daily basis while crossing the Karnali River. The locals are also required to pay a hefty amount for the perilous journey. People in Humla have to take the help of these tweens not only to reach the headquarters of Kharpunath Rural Municipality, but they have to risk their lives while using tweens for other daily activities as well. The Karnali province government has aimed to construct 18 suspension bridges, which at places will replace these tweens in the current fiscal year. However, the Ministry of Physical Infrastructure is yet to release the budget for the construction works. Children in Sindhupalchok's Jugal Rural Municipality have been compelled to look after the cattle and other household activities at the cost of their school life. Even as the government has announced free and compulsory education up to secondary level, the students are not able to pursue education since there is lack of schools to run classes beyond grade 5. 15-year-old Jit Bahadur Tamang from Sanguling can be seen busy with his cattle and other household activities. Jit Bahadur studied up to grade 5 but couldn't pursue his education due to lack of secondary schools. Likewise, Pema Doma Sherpa from Jugal Rural Municipality, currently a grade 5 student, is worried that the upcoming exams would be her last school exams. The nearest secondary school from her village is at a distance of a day's walk, which poses practical obstacles for Pema Doma to pursue her higher studies. The concerned rural municipalities are, however, not able to raise the issue.
And before we wrap up, a reminder of the top stories. Prime Minister's statement on approval of controversial MCC deal with US played by Fim Rao, a member of the task force. Rao says no one is above the party. Saliva samples of Nepali nationals brought from Hubei province conducted. Results expected today itself. Americans from the quarantine cruise ship leave Japan. Contractors continue imposing syndicate on government's development projects. A number of projects stranded due to authorities' failure to evaluate contractors' capabilities. And Real Madrid held by Celta Vigo for a 2-2 stalemate. Real just 1 point ahead of Barca at the top of the La Liga. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur Television SD for more news and entertainment. Have a good day.